Is there a motion to terminate Keith Freeman?
You could feel the anger tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township. The board and citizens looking for accountability to their...
In the quiet town of Dalton, Illinois, home to just 20,000 residents, a storm of controversy has engulfed its embattled mayor, Tiffany Henyard. Allegations of corruption have sent shockwaves through her administration, accusing her of misusing taxpayer funds in ways that have left residents furious and deeply disillusioned. Once seen as a promising political figure, Henyard now faces claims of indulging in a life of luxury at the expense of her constituents. These allegations paint a picture of a leader funding lavish trips, first-class flights, and extravagant dinners using public money, a betrayal that cuts especially deep for a town already struggling with economic challenges. Reports suggest that Henyard's alleged misuse of taxpayer funds is not an isolated incident. The FBI is reportedly investigating her financial dealings, with sources indicating that substantial evidence could lead to severe legal consequences. If convicted, Henyard could potentially face over 20 years in prison. This investigation has only fueled the outrage among Dalton residents, many of whom are burdened with high taxes and limited public services. They feel betrayed, believing that their hard-earned money was diverted to fund the mayor's personal luxuries instead of addressing the community's needs. The accusations extend beyond first-class flights and gourmet dinners. Henyard is alleged to have spent taxpayer funds on globe-trotting trips, highlighting the stark disconnect between her extravagant lifestyle and the financial struggles faced by her community. While some of Henyard's supporters have dismissed these allegations as politically motivated attacks, the mounting evidence and ongoing federal investigation suggest there is more to this story than mere partisan mudslinging. As details of the investigation unfold, Dalton residents are grappling with the painful reality of how such alleged misuse of public funds could occur in a town where every dollar is critical for maintaining basic services. Critics argue that these allegations reveal systemic flaws in Dalton's governance, with inadequate oversight and accountability creating an environment where corruption could thrive unchecked. This has prompted growing calls for transparency and accountability, with community leaders demanding a full audit of municipal spending during Henyard's tenure. Political observers are speculating on the long-term consequences of this scandal for Dalton's governance and Henyard's legacy. Many see the case as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked political power in small towns, where limited oversight can provide fertile ground for misconduct. The federal investigation into Henyard reportedly focuses on the potential misappropriation of funds and violations of ethics laws. Sources claim federal agents have gathered substantial evidence, including documents, testimonies, and financial records, that could point to significant corruption. Legal experts suggest that if these charges hold, Henyard could face a range of consequences, from restitution orders to significant jail time. As the investigation progresses, the controversy is taking a toll on Henyard's political standing. Even some of her former allies are beginning to distance themselves from her, likely in an effort to protect their own reputations. Despite this, Henyard has responded to the allegations with defiance. She has publicly dismissed them as baseless, framing herself as the victim of a politically motivated effort to tarnish her administration. However, Henyard's repeated denials have done little to quell the growing skepticism among Dalton's residents. For many, the scale and scope of the alleged misconduct make her explanations increasingly difficult to accept. Tensions in Dalton have reached a boiling point, with town hall meetings growing more contentious as furious residents demand answers and accountability. Many are calling for Henyard's resignation or removal from office. The unfolding scandal has also attracted national media attention, turning Dalton, a small, previously overlooked town, into a symbol of political dysfunction. The irony of a small-town mayor allegedly engaging in such high-level corruption has captured the public's imagination, sparking broader conversations about the need for reform in municipal governance and transparency. At the heart of the scandal lies a critical question. How could a town like Dalton, with its modest resources and struggling economy, allow such alleged excesses to go unchecked? Critics point to a lack of oversight within Dalton's government, which they argue may have emboldened Henyard to act with impunity. In a small community where every dollar is vital, the idea that such extravagant spending could occur without detection is both shocking and deeply unsettling. For Henyard, the road ahead looks increasingly uncertain. The fallout from these allegations threatens to derail her political career, stain her legacy, and leave her battling both legal and public relations crises. Despite maintaining her innocence, the mounting pressure from the public, the growing discontent among her allies, and the looming federal investigation paint a grim picture of her prospects. As the relentless pursuit of truth continues, it seems likely that Henyard's political career is nearing its end. The residents of Dalton, who once looked to her for leadership, are now demanding accountability. Whether Henyard can weather this storm, or if this scandal will mark the final chapter of her political journey, remains to be seen.
We knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said,
The trouble surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dalton, Illinois, a small village with a population of just over 20,000, first came to public attention when investigative journalists at WGN News uncovered shocking details about her questionable spending practices. The revelations sparked widespread outrage, exposing that Henyard had incurred over $67,000 in travel-related expenses within a mere 5 months. This staggering figure left residents both stunned and furious. The expenditures included first-class flights, stays at luxury hotels, extravagant dining experiences, and even personal shopping sprees, all of which were charged to the taxpayers of this economically struggling village. The disclosure ignited fury among Dalton's residents, who were already grappling with high taxes and limited public services. As more details emerged about Henyard's lavish lifestyle, public frustration only grew. Critics began questioning how the mayor of a modest village like Dalton could justify such extravagant spending, especially when the town faced pressing issues such as aging infrastructure and underfunded public programs. Once celebrated as a trailblazing political figure, Henyard quickly became a symbol of alleged corruption and disregard for public trust. This prompted growing calls for accountability from both the community and outside observers. Public scrutiny of Henyard's administration deepened as the media continued their investigation, uncovering a troubling pattern of spending that seemed disconnected from the community's needs. What initially began as outrage over excessive travel expenses soon evolved into a broader examination of Henyard's leadership style and the transparency of her governance. The revelations also drew the attention of state and federal agencies, triggering investigations that hinted at the possibility of more profound misconduct. The anger of Dalton's residents reached a boiling point during town hall meetings, where Henyard faced pointed questions and loud calls for her resignation. While some of her supporters insisted that the accusations were politically motivated, their voices were largely drowned out by the overwhelming public outcry. As the controversy unfolded, Henyard attempted to defend her actions, claiming that the expenditures were part of her efforts to represent Dalton on a broader stage. However, her justifications failed to resonate with a community struggling to reconcile her apparent opulence with their own financial hardships. GN's bombshell report not only cast a shadow over Henyard's administration, but also set the stage for one of the most scrutinized local scandals in the state. The implications of this controversy extended far beyond Dalton, drawing national attention to the challenges of accountability in small-town governance. This revelation marked only the beginning of a larger saga that would unravel a web of controversy, ultimately sparking a reckoning for Mayor Henyard and the entire town of Dalton.
And that is the finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits of beleaguered Mayor Tiffany.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration has plunged deeper into controversy following revelations of blatant financial mismanagement and attempts to conceal lavish spending, sparking outrage among the already disillusioned residents of Dalton. The controversy began when investigative journalists from WGN News requested access to government spending records through a Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) request. Henyard's administration refused to comply, directly violating Illinois state laws that mandate public access to such records. Even after the Illinois Attorney General's office intervened and issued a directive to release the documents, the administration remained defiant. The situation escalated when WGN News took the matter to court, ultimately resulting in a judge's order compelling the village to release several pages of credit card statements. What followed was a bombshell revelation. Between July and November 2023, Henyard's administration spent tens of thousands of dollars on luxury accommodations, high-end restaurants, and even hired a personal photographer. These expenses seemed more fitting for a celebrity lifestyle than the modest budget of a small-town mayor overseeing a financially struggling community. The receipts revealed charges for opulent hotel stays in prime locations, extravagant dining, experiences, and other expenditures that appeared to benefit Henyard personally rather than serve the public interest. For a town already grappling with economic challenges, failing infrastructure, and underfunded services, these revelations felt like a profound betrayal.